Go ahead.
Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots.
He's talking about war. The stage is being set for World War III, coming right out the Bible. Go ahead.
And the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also, the Carmanians.
Carmanians, that's Iran. That's Iran in the Bible. The Carmanians, Ishmaelites, that's talking about the Arabs. Go ahead.
Also, the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as wild boars of the wood.
So, as you can see through Bible prophecy, they're standing and defending what's rightfully theirs. They're defending their country against the common enemy, the so-called Americans, Donald Trump and the United States Army. They're fighting valiantly to protect what's rightfully theirs, their natural resources. See, that's the thing. They want to commandeer all the natural resources of the earth. And the Carmanians, the Arabs, and the Iranians said, nah, we're not going to stand for that. We're going to take hold of what's ours. And we're going to stand for and fight and keep what's rightfully ours. Because it's about the natural resources. Like they did with Venezuela, but Iran said, nah, we're not having it. They set them up. They knew they were coming. They would have a step ahead of them every time. It was a beautiful plan that they did because they knew when the United States was going to invade their country. And they were a step ahead of them every time. And they still a step ahead of them to this very day. Go ahead.
Also, the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them.
In great power, and that's what you see. They unleashing all kinds of missiles and rockets to defend their country. Getting help from Russia, getting help from China. Go ahead.
And with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians.
So the United States getting smoked over there in the land of Israel. They getting smoked. They shall hate the whore. And you see that now. All the nations hate the so-called Americans over here. And rightfully so, because they rape, pillage, and rob the whole planet Earth. And now their time is coming.
Bring it out.
That's why we see America circling the drain. Because at some point you have to pay for the crimes that you have committed. And your time is up. And the other nations now are rising up against you. NATO, all the other foreign nations are rising up against America. Because they want to keep what's rightfully theirs. The rare earth minerals, the oil, control of the whole world. The so-called Jews want to try to keep all of that. But guess what? The other nations have finally reached their peak as far as them being oppressed by the other nations, by the so-called Jews. They standing up now. This is Bible prophecy. Go ahead. Call it out. Let them know where you're reading from.
The book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations.
So all nations is going to be gathered over there in the so-called Middle East for this third world war. This is something that I don't think a lot of people realize the severity of this. When you talk about thermonuclear destruction, you talk about millions and millions of people dying. We're on the precipice of that. Do you understand what that means? You're on the precipice of seeing millions of people dying when that thermonuclear war happens. They already got the warships over there in the Middle East as we speak. The doomsday plane is over there in the Middle East as we speak. But see, this is something that the mainstream media is not going to tell you. This is why the mainstream media give you church. This is why the mainstream media give you a Republican Party, a Democratic Party, sports and entertainment to keep you distracted from what's really going on. America's about to be destroyed with Third World War. But what y'all care about? The start of the baseball season, March Madness, all this folly that's going on in the earth, when millions of people's gonna die. from this third world war. The nations have thermonuclear warheads. Russia has thermonuclear warheads. China has thermonuclear warheads. North Korea has thermonuclear warheads. And we're on the precipice of World War III, when millions and millions of people are going to die. But yet nobody knows about this, because, well, as Israelites, as practicing Israelites, we on the cutting edge to what's happening, because we read alternative news sources and we read the Bible. And it's prophetic how we know what's going to happen. And this is our job, to come out and warn the people. Do it as you will, as you continue the folly of America. But know this, that America has but a short time left. And we out here prophesying the downfall of America. And it's a beautiful time as a practice in Israel. We love it. We love it, because our kingdom is next. The everlasting kingdom. Fresh water to breathe, fresh air to breathe, clean water to drink, no homosexuality, no lesbianism, no bestiality, no drunks, no drugs. This is beautiful times that we live in, because our kingdom is next. Call it out, brother. Let them know where you're reading from.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 2. I will also gather all nations.
Most High said he's going to gather all nations. All nations will be gathered in the Middle East.
And will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Will bring them into the valley of Jehoshaphat, over in the Middle East. This is where it all begins. This is Bible prophecy being taught. But people want to lash out and scoff at the words of the Lord, but guess what? Millions and millions of people are going to perish in these last days. Not because I said it, because the Bible said it. Call it out, read it again from the top.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 2. I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel.
So that's our freedom. That is our freedom. That's why we welcome World War III, because that's our freedom off of these jobs. That's our freedom to worship our power with all our mind, body, and soul. But yet our people fight against the future kingdom of the earth that belongs to them, where you could be free to worship your power. You don't have freedom here in America. You never had freedom here in America. But yet you stand up and hope and salute the American flag when the American flag has done you wrong. Because they teach you false history in school. A false religious system here in America. A false political system here in America, where they're going to draft your sons and daughters to send them overseas to fight for a war that they have no control of. But you don't say a thing about that. You don't stand up for that. You agree to it. This is where we are in prophecy. Go ahead.
And will plead with them there for my people.
For his people. The Most High, for his people. He's going to gather all nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat, in the Middle East, the so-called Middle East. If you look at a world map, it's Western Asia. It doesn't say Middle East if you look at the world map. It don't say Middle South, Middle North, Middle West. It doesn't say that. But that's the valley of Jehoshaphat. You have to speak the language you understand, the Middle East. That's where the World War III will begin. Go ahead.
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage.
For his heritage, who?
Israel.
Who?
Israel.
The 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. That's the Most High's heritage. That's Operation Yahawashi. That he's coming back to save the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
Whom they have scattered among the nations.
We scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Go ahead.
And parted my land.
And parted the land of Jerusalem. You got the so-called Jews on one side, and you got the Palestinians on the other side. That's how the land is parted. We haven't seen our homeland since we left. We haven't seen it. We've been living in captivity.